Am I the asshole for refusing to let my girlfriend drive my car because she's totaled 2 cars before? So I, 24M, recently bought my first, nice, car, a 2019 Mazda 3. It's not a luxury car or anything, but I worked my ass off for it. I saved for years, drove beaters while I worked 2 jobs, and when I finally got this car, it felt like a reward for all my effort. I take care of it, too. I wash it every weekend, never let it get below half a tank, and park away from everyone else in parking lots like a total dork. Here's the issue. My girlfriend, Emily, 24F, wants to drive it. I love Emily, but she is the single worst driver I've ever met. And I'm not exaggerating. 1. She's totaled 2 cars in the past 2 years. The first was because she misjudged the distance while merging on the highway. The second? She reversed into a light pole in an empty parking lot. 2. She tailgates like crazy. I've had to tell her multiple times to back off the car in front of her when I'm in the passenger seat because it feels like we're going to die. 3. She's admitted she doesn't like paying attention while driving because it's boring. I wish I were kidding. I've let her drive my old car once before, a 15-year-old Civic I wasn't super attached to, and she managed to scrape it pulling into a gas station. After that, I said I'd never let her drive my car again, and we both kind of laughed it off. Well, now I have this car, and she keeps asking to drive it. At first, it was playful, stuff like, let me take it for a spin, and I just said no with a laugh. But recently, she's been getting more annoyed about it. She says stuff like, you act like I'm going to crash it or something. And, well, yeah. The other day, we were driving to dinner, me driving, obviously, and she brought it up again. She said it's weird that I won't let my own girlfriend drive my car and that it makes her feel like I don't trust her. I told her straight up, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I've seen you drive, and I can't afford to have this car wrecked. She got quiet and didn't say much for the rest of the night. Later, she told me I embarrassed her and made her feel like she's incompetent. I said I wasn't trying to embarrass her, but she has totaled 2 cars. She said I should get over it, because accidents happen, and that I'm being controlling. Now she doesn't even let me use her PC because I may break it, when there has never been such an issue before. I think it's just childish. Am I the asshole? My sister had been in 7 car collisions, none her fault, not even when she destroyed our mom's garage. It jumped out at her. Some people really don't understand driving. Like your girlfriend, some people will contrive any reason not to be to blame. Consider whether she does this in other aspects of her life. Is she ever at fault for anything that goes wrong? Is she capable of admitting responsibility in any context? And if this is a driving-only issue of denial, would you be comfortable, say, sending her out with children in the car? Your own or nieces, nephews, whatever. And of course, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not only is she a bad driver, but she refuses to take any responsibility. Both of her major accidents were entirely her fault, but you should get over it. You'd be crazy to let her drive. Given her retaliation via her PC, you need to also evaluate whether you'd be crazy to stick with her. Not the asshole. Regardless of your reasoning, your girlfriend is not entitled to driving your car. If she brings it up again, bring up all of the things she's done while driving the other cars. But also, do you really want to stay in a relationship with someone like this? The bad driving, the immature pettiness, not allowing you to use her PC, the lack of self-awareness, the inability to take no as an answer? Like, I think the way she responded to you uncovers a lot more issues with this one than just bad driving. She is irresponsible and quite frankly an awful person for thinking her behavior is okay or cute. How can you even look at your girlfriend knowing she is this lackadaisical about others' safety on the road? Ew, how will you feel when she hurts someone or worse kills someone with her idiot look on driving? I don't like to pay attention, wah I'm an entitled jerk is what that sounds like. Would you let her drive your future kids around? If the answer is no, what are you doing with her? Not the asshole. Later, she told me I embarrassed her and made her feel like she's incompetent. She is not only incompetent but a danger to herself and others. She should have her license revoked from what you wrote. Why are you sugarcoating the truth? You do not trust her to drive tour car. You do think she will total it. I mean, I'm impressed you don't sound more alarmed that she's going to kill herself or someone else because paying attention is boring. I'm impressed you're still with her when you think she drives in a way that actually makes you feel unsafe and like she's going to run into another car. You sound like you're underreacting. Are you not worried she'll kill herself in an accident? Is she so unbothered with life that she does not even know she drives unsafely? Am I the asshole for confusing my baby sister into believing I'm her mom? Hi guys. This is my first time on here, but I just need advice if you can please. I'm 16F and my dad passed away last year. Him and my mom had been divorced before that and they used to split custody and she's been remarried to my stepdad for years. My baby sister turned 1 a couple of days ago and my mom is 5 months pregnant with a baby boy. I guess the problem started when my sister started teething? It was at the beginning of summer break and mom would just let her cry it out in her nursery alone and my sister is loud. Not only was it annoying but also kind of sad because she's just a baby and going through pain alone, so I used to grab her and try to soothe her. Being held and letting her chew on her fingers helped her some, and I saw a TikTok of a teething baby using a cucumber and tried that too and it was like magic. Anyway, I thought babies just teeth once and I was so wrong, so it became a routine of me taking care of her a lot. Mom didn't care as long as she wasn't crying and I liked hanging out with her. It wasn't 24/7 obviously, I had a part-time job and friends, but whenever I came home, she would practically leap out of stepdad's arms wanting to come to me. She also started fussing a lot whenever my mom would try to put her to sleep, like full-on baby kickboxing, but she doesn't have that problem with me. She just kind of cuddles up to my chest and drifts off. Anyway, I thought that was a baby being a baby, but my mom was fuming after my sister's birthday party because she wouldn't let my mom hold her in pictures or for the cake cutting, and my grandma made a comment about my sister and I being Siamese twins, but I just took it as we're close. IDK. My mom was fuming like I said, and she said that I'm confusing my sister into thinking I'm her mom and that I need to take a step back and stop it. What am I supposed to do, just ignore her whenever she cries or whenever she babbles for me? It's not like I push my mom out of the way to get to her. It's just that she'd be napping or in the bathroom or something and I don't want my sister crying her little lungs out. Not the asshole. Your sister prefers you over your mother because your mother has failed her as a parent. From the sounds of it, you are the only one who comforts her when she cries, shows her affection and gives her your time, and cares for her needs outside of physically. Your mother is a bad parent. Who leaves a baby to scream cry and thinks that's okay? If she wants to throw a hissy fit over the fact her teenager is more of a concerned parent, then let her. Keep doing that you're doing because this is helping your sister more than you know it. Not the asshole. When I was younger my mom would lock me in my room thinking it would make me go to sleep. It didn't. It traumatized me. I hate the dark and being alone, and she didn't care. She neglected and abused me all throughout my childhood, and only now in my teens am I realizing how horrible she really was. She calls this me rebelling when I don't want her near me. Please try to get out of that toxic environment like I'm trying to do. I don't know the full story, but no mother should feel jealous of their daughter for parenting better than her. Instead of your mother being grateful that you love your baby sister and are bonding with her, helping take care of her, she's jealous? Maybe if she was doing her job, your sister would still reach out for her, want to be around her. Absolutely not the asshole. Way to go on being the best big sister for her. Not the asshole. You bonded with your sister, where your mother didn't, or at least not as well. You're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation with your sister. If you take the step back that your mother wants, it's very, very likely that your mother will be angry with you when your sister cries and you don't soothe her. She needs to learn how to do this, because having 2 small children at once is at least 3 times the work of having only one, in my opinion, based solely on babysitting small children. It is common for the crying of one child to start the other child crying, in a kind of hellish harmony. With your mother is pregnant with yet another baby, you can look forward to more childcare. Not the asshole. Your sister associates your mom with pain and being left alone while associating you with comfort. She doesn't understand this, of course, being so young, but that's why she favors you. Some people enjoy the idea of being a mom but not actual taking on the responsibility and role as a mother. Am I the asshole for not buying a coffee maker for guests? Me and my husband do not drink coffee, so we do not have a coffee maker or any coffee beans. He has a friend who lives hours away and he sees him in person once every year or two. Usually when he comes up, he brings his girlfriend. They stayed over for a few days last year. Before they came, I asked if they wanted any food or drinks to have in the house, and I told them what we normally kept stocked in the house. They didn't make any requests. The first morning the girlfriend wanted coffee. I told her we did not have any way to make coffee here, but I could bring her to the coffee shop which was 2 minutes away. She declined, but her mood seemed sour after that. We hung out with other mutual friends for the day and I learned from one of them that she was really upset we didn't have a way to make coffee at home because she needs it in the morning. Each morning I offered to bring her to the coffee shop and she always declined. I even offered it as my treat in case they didn't have the money. She declined still. Well, they came over again a year later. I still didn't have a coffee maker because we don't drink coffee. This time, she called me a bad host to my face because I had them over knowing she needs her coffee and I didn't get anything to make coffee. I am a people pleaser. And I go huge lengths to make guests most comfortable. But I can't justify having a coffee maker we don't use for maybe a once per year guest. I don't have the storage space for it. I talked to people about it and some think I was right. We don't drink coffee, we don't have it. But a lot of others think that if you ever have guests, you should have coffee available. And this makes me think of my mom and grandma who always had coffee ready within minutes of guests arriving, expected or not. So this skews my view. Am I the asshole for not having a coffee maker and coffee beans when I knew a guest who needs coffee comes to stay at my house? ETA. I'm getting a lot of comments about how they're cheap. Yes, I know, I can afford one, but I don't have space to store something I won't use except maybe once per year. Yes, they're small, but I don't have space in my kitchen, which is why I offered to bring her to get coffee somewhere. Not the asshole I visit a relative a couple times a year. I asked if they minded, then picked up a cheap $15 mini coffee maker and a can of coffee. Told them to do what they wanted with the leftover coffee, and they just stick the coffee maker in an upper cupboard after we leave. If you were kind enough to offer to take her to a coffee shop each morning, her refusal is her problem. And knowing you didn't have any, she could have brought instant the next time she visited, but went with acting like you were a hotel. Which is exactly where they should stay next time they're in town. I have a pretty solid caffeine addiction and I would be very grumpy that first morning upon discovering the absence of coffee, but I would fix the problem myself by getting a couple of basic supplies. You also offered to drive her to the coffee shop. It's also pretty unappreciative and rude to complain the way she did. I would suggest that the hotel down the street may have accommodations that are more to her standards next time. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She can bring a French press. Or, rather, she could have now that she's called you a bad host. I'd say that she's permanently off the guest list unless there's a substantial grovel. Not the asshole. She was though. I travel with coffee, a drip cone and filters. All I need is boiling water and I am covered. Usually need it when I visit my son. They don't drink coffee and I think it is wrong to ask them to have a coffee maker just for me. If she is the only person to complain, don't give it another thought. You could get a French press and a small bag of coffee to keep in the freezer. Neither will take up too much space, but if you live in a small home, it could take up more than you can afford. As a host, you asked for specific wants from your guests. You suggested a nearby alternative after not catering to a need which wasn't communicated. For this person to expect you to purchase a coffee maker and the supplies to create this beverage only for their comfort is ridiculous. Not the asshole. I love that a bunch of commenters are like, just get a coffee maker. Completely forgetting that not everyone has extra space in their kitchen or home for extra appliances. Some people live in tiny places, with no pantry, and no extra room for appliances that only get used once a year by guests. If there's a coffee shop just a few minutes away, why isn't her boyfriend getting up and getting coffee so it's ready when she wakes up? Why is this OP's problem and not the BF's problem? I honestly wouldn't invite her back if she's this rude and helpless. Not the asshole. Would I be the asshole for refusing to pay for my hair to be done for a friend's upcoming wedding? I, 27 female, am a bridesmaid in my friend's upcoming wedding, less than a week away. This wedding is very small and a budget wedding, not judging, it's not my day, I'm just painting a picture. The bride has 6 bridesmaids, we have pretty much paid for everything ourselves. The bride has contributed $100 towards our dresses and paid for any alterations required, but we have paid the rest. Shoes, bag, jewelry etc. have all been funded by myself, and yes, there was a requirement for color, style. We are all doing our own makeup for the day and up until recently I assumed our own hair too. The bride would like soft curls, which I am very capable of doing. I recently found out that the bride has booked us in for our hair to be done professionally on the day and that we are expected to pay for it. It's going to cost us each $150 for soft curls. Another bridesmaid who is currently unemployed contacted her about not getting her hair done and doing it herself, again very capable of doing soft curls, and did her own wedding hair, as she does not have $150 spare right now around Christmas time. The bride's response to this was that, getting your hair done is non-negotiable. I am of the belief that if I am paying for it, it is absolutely negotiable. This has now caused a bit of tension right before the wedding because a few of us really don't want to pay the money and are a little peeved that it was booked and decided before asking us if we even wanted it. Also considering what we have already paid for this wedding. Bride is insisting and we are trying to negotiate ways around it beyond just flat out refusing, but it's not going great. A few people I have spoken to have been shocked that us bridesmaids have been made to pay for anything wedding related at all. And some others have said that I agreed to all of this when I agreed to be a bridesmaid, wasn't actually asked, but that's another story. I've never been in a bridal party so I don't actually know what's normal, I guess. So, would I be the asshole if I refused to pay for and get my hair done on the day? Update. I managed to find out the hairstylist and with a little investigative work I can confirm that this hairstylist does actually charge $150 per person for soft waves for bridal events. Wedding tax is without the bridal aspect, she only charges $70. I feel better knowing that I wasn't being scammed into paying for the bride's hair. However, it makes even less sense why she wouldn't let us opt out of getting our hair done. I also have compared this cost with a few other salons and she is about $50 over the normal cost for soft waves. Still doesn't change the fact I don't want to pay. Honestly, I suspect she found a stylist willing to do bride's expensive hair, makeup for free if she had the costs covered by doing 6 soft curls for $150 each. She can't let any of you back out because that money is really going towards her stuff. The bride's response to this was that, getting your hair done is non-negotiable. Lol. And my response would be, my lack of attendance is now a non-negotiable. When you say you've all paid for the wedding, are you just talking about outfits or do you mean you paid for food, etc. as well? Not the asshole. Weddings are expensive, but if the bride insists on professional hair, she should be paying for it. Especially if you've already spent so much. Soft curls aren't worth $150, especially when you can do them yourself. Not the asshole. Even a bride cannot spend your money without your agreement. It sounds like multiple bridesmaids do not want to spend this sum at this time. Together they should tell the bride that they are not willing to spend this money. The bride should pick up this cost or give up her requirement. Not the asshole. If you do cave and pay for it, tell her that's her wedding gift. I would refuse. In this economy, she's asking too much. I would couch it delicately. I'm so sorry, I just can't afford this. Would you like me to step back? Quote.